the Ali Frazier experience was, the pinnacle of that in 2002, the night before the NBA All-Star game.
Talk to me about that.
So we worked for the better half, me and Harlan, and my dad helped, and my boy Nicky C, for 7 or 8 years to get those two kings together. And it was amazing because
Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, greatest rivalry in the history of sports. There'll never be anything like it. And Muhammad would be down once in a while, but then every once in a while, be like, hey, champ, I'm gonna see Smokin Joe next week. You want me to tell him something? And he'd be looking and goes, yeah, tell him he's still a gorilla. And I was like, oh my God, we'd be like this close. And then I'd be with Joe at the gym at his son Marvis. I'm like, Joe, I'm gonna be in Michigan next week. Can I call you with Muhammad? I'd love you guys to say hello. Once in a while, but actually get them on the phone. It wouldn't say much, but hey man, how are you? What's happening? And yet Joe was like, tell him if he's ready for another goddamn ass beating. I got one for him, okay? So it was like really dealing with children. And eventually in 2001, I think it was, Muhammad, you could pull this up online, New York Times had a front page article, Muhammad Ali to Joe Frazier, I'm sorry. Joe Frazier is a good man. And anything I said was to promote the fights. And I apologize. If God ever called me into a holy war, I'd want Joe Frazier right beside me. And that was it. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I called up Harlan. We got to get this to happen. Joe wasn't ready. He still wasn't ready. He appreciated it. And Harlan called me maybe 3 or 4 months later, and I thought this was it. Lonnie and Muhammad wanted me, Joe, and Marvis to come out for the Ali movie premiere and ride on the limo with Will Smith on the red carpet. Joe didn't want to do it.
No.
Only time Joe yelled at me. He goes, you tell that motherfucker, if he wants to do it, it's got to be on my home turf in Philadelphia. I ain't getting on no goddamn airplane. I don't trust the son of a bitch. I couldn't believe it. Like, here I am, like, my early 30s dealing with this.
You're dealing with Muhammad Ali
and
Joe Frazier,
and I bring, Joe and I were out in LA for an appearance, maybe 4 or 5 months after that. And I said, hey, can we go to Harlan's office? Let's just go. He's Muhammad's guy. Joe goes and literally was talking about that he's ready. And he had tears in his eyes. I could see Harlan was getting emotional. And when we left, Harlan called me, goes, D, we're making this happen soon. I'm calling Lonnie and Muhammad. I'm gonna meet with them next week. I'm gonna say, I saw that forgiveness in his heart. I saw that he wants to let this go. And the world needs to see that if these two great kings can make peace, so could the rest of the world.
And what was the friction for all those years? What was it?
Muhammad overdid it with, I know you're young, but if you watch some footage, you'll see, Muhammad called him a gorilla. He cast him as an Uncle Tom, which is the biggest insult to a black man. Means you're a white man's champion, and just overdid it. Taunted Joe a lot, called him a lot of names. After that epic fight, March 8th of 1971, which was the first time 2 undefeated heavyweight champs met, Vietnam War stopped that night. That's how big it was. And Muhammad said if he got his ass whooped, he would have crawled across the ring and told him, Joe Frazier, you are the greatest of all time. Muhammad never did, and he got his ass kicked. Muhammad's first loss. So Joe had a lot of resentment built up and a lot of hate. And even though Muhammad did it supposedly for the fights, he crossed the line with a lot of things he said. So then Joe, once Muhammad got sick, would say, where do you think he got that from? He fought 3 times. He says he won 2. I think I won all 3. Look at the way he is now, and can't really go out and say that in the public. When a guy's got Parkinson's, and it really hurt Joe for quite a lot, but he didn't care. That was his belief. So it was just back and forth until we had that moment of All-Star Weekend in Philadelphia in 2002.
And if you're watching the podcast, we'll put up a photo, because that photo is so iconic with you, Muhammad Ali, and Frazier. Take us to that night. What happens?
So I get a call that morning from Damon Bingham, who has since passed. He was Muhammad's godson. Howard Bingham, the famed photographer, was Muhammad's best friend who passed about 2 years ago. And they said, we just spoke to Harlan with Lonnie, and we'd like to invite you, Joe, and Marvis. Marvis is Joe's son, to Muhammad's suite tonight for dinner. I'm just like out of my mind at this point. It's like, oh my God. And I knew we didn't have plans. Joe was probably gonna lay low because we were going to the All-Star game the next day. So I said, okay, so let me call him. I'll call you right back. And I'm just like, I pray to God, please just tell him to God. I'm like, just tell him to say yes. And without hesitation, he goes, all right, man, let's go see the butterfly tonight. I'm good. What time you want is there? And I was with my boy Nicky C, Nick Cordasco, and it was bittersweet because my dad wanted to be there, and he was 2.5 hours away in New Jersey, and even worse was Harlan was stuck in Vegas. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and some other clients at a big convention. couldn't make it on time. Harlan's like, Darren, you're going. This is historic. Don't worry about it. We'll get them together at another point. You cannot not make this happen because I'm not there. And an hour before I went to get Joe, I'm in the hotel room doing what I always did. And I'm snorting Percocets and Vicodins in the hotel room. Because how could Darren Prince be in this room where I know any president, world leader, mega A-list celebrity would not believe that this is happening right now. And we get to the hotel room door and Lonnie meets us, Muhammad's amazing wife, and gives Joe a hug, gives me a hug, and Marvis a hug. And Joe walks over to Muhammad, he was on the couch, and his diet wasn't great, so he was definitely more overweight at that time in his life, between that and the Parkinson's medication. And Muhammad is smiling with that classic grin. And Joe goes, hey man, how you doing? And Muhammad puts his arm out. Joe goes to grab his arm, and Joe sees he needed help to get up. So Joe locks his back leg and he goes under Muhammad's armpit, and he gets him up. And Muhammad just falls over his shoulder like this. And like a child puts his head on Joe's shoulder. And I hear Muhammad say, thank you, Joe, and Darren and Marvis, because Muhammad just found peace.
Wow.
And looking at both of them, they're grabbing each other's face. We're all in tears. This is just like...
Yeah, how's this happening?
Incredible. Yeah. And now we go for dinner, and Muhammad and Lonnie were great. They're talking to Joe about his diabetes and different doctors they wanted to send him to maybe improve it.
And you're in your head at this dinner table.
I'm at a dinner table that like Nelson Mandela, President Clinton, you name it, would have been like, how do I get in there? Like how do we not know about this?
Who was at the dinner table? Just to give us.
It was Muhammad, Lonnie, me, Nick, Marvis, Howard Bingham, and Damon Bingham. So 7 of us.
Yeah.
And Muhammad starts biting his bottom lip, that famous mimicking that Billy Crystal does so well.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of dinner, he's got like food on him, and he's being a little sloppy with his eating. He goes, Joe Frazier. And he starts doing the rant. He goes, I'm gonna get the gorilla in Manila. And Joe drops his fork in the plate. He goes, man, we already went 42 rounds. We just made peace back there and broke bread. Am I gonna have to give you another goddamn ass whooping? And everybody's hysterical. I'm like, I cannot believe what I'm witnessing here right now. This is just like, and we spent about 2 hours. Marvis was a reverend, and he wanted to do a little prayer, and Joe stopped him. And it was Marvis, Joe, and Muhammad holding hands, just the 3 of them, when we left. And Joe goes, son, I've got this. And they all shut their eyes. And he goes, dear Lord, we have forgotten and we have forgiven. And please help to heal this man. That means so much to the world. He's got grandkids and children and people that love him. And please get him well. As I see the tears just rolling down Joe and Muhammad's face. And it was forgiveness at a form that I've never seen. And we just leave, and I'm on top of the world. I couldn't even sleep that night. And the next morning, the NBA calls me and said, did Muhammad and Joe get together last night? We heard that Joe was in Muhammad's hotel. I said, no. I said, no. I said, we were in his hotel, but of course I'm not going to talk about it out of their privacy. And they said, well, let me ask you something, Darren, would it be okay? Muhammad's going to be at the game today if we sat Joe and Muhammad somewhat near each other? I said, yeah, no, I think it would be okay. Now I'm like, oh my God, I thought last night was incredible. What the hell's going on? Like, are we actually going to be sitting courtside with each other? So I don't want to tell Joe, just in case it never happened.
Yeah.
So we walk in and the place is going nuts because it's Joe's hometown. People screaming Frazier, Smokin, Joe. And we sit at seat 3, dead center court. There's 1 and 2, and then I'm in seat 3. Joe goes in 4, and Nick goes with me to 5. Because it was just the 3 of us. Nick and I took him to the game. And I'm there for about 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you hear that chant, man. And you're too young to know it or experience it, but it's that Ali, Ali. There was never a figure in the world that can bring out a crowd like he could. And I see Muhammad come like hobbling in, and he's shaking, and I see Howard Bingham behind them. And Muhammad sits right next to me in seat 2. And Howard's in seat 1, and these pictures are all online.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening right now. And Magic comes over with Cookie, and Justin Timberlake's dating Britney Spears, and Diddy's there with his son Justin, who's this big, and everybody's going. That's Kobe's at center court with Iverson, and Michael, who's playing for the Wizards, and
Jordan, yeah.
Joe nudges me like this. And he called me boss man. He goes, you're boss man. I go, yeah. He goes, switch seats with me. And I go, thank God he asked, because I'm like, I don't want to be next to Muhammad. So I get up and I go, my pleasure. And he sits down next to him, and the two of them are holding hands like this, man. And Alicia Keys goes out to sing America the Beautiful. And
my God.
They're standing with their arms intertwined. And again, these pictures are everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
we'll put a screen up
170
there.
countries that they're, you know, you can Google it, not even the ones I have. And they were the last two to sit down because, again, Muhammad was a little unstable. And once everybody sat down, they were still standing. And obviously, the NBA knew what was going on. And it just went right on them in front of 170 countries. And everybody just starts standing up again. And they eventually sit, and I hear Muhammad go, yo, champ. And Joe replies, yeah, champ. I'm like, holy crap. The highest level of respect. This is insane. They both called each other champ.
Yeah.
And Muhammad goes, we're still two badass brothers, aren't we? And he goes, yes, we are, man. Yes, we are. And they were just cut from a different cloth. They were just, you know,
That is
just
unbelievable.
incredible men, man. I mean, they got it. And celebrities that have egos and the way they behave nowadays need to look at those two books. Because I've seen the biggest stars on the planet become kids. I've seen President Clinton, Spielberg, Dustin Hoffman, De Niro, Pacino, Denzel Washington. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. It's Ollie Frazier and everybody else. And to see how humble they were and the way they were there for their fans. And they were just so unaffected by it.
On your personal level and your interactions with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier in particular, what was it about them that you think most people will never even understand? Because you got to be in the rooms with them, so you have a unique ticket to history.
Well,
in a sense.
first off, their fights were beyond epic.
Of course, yeah.
The rivalry outside the ring was just as epic. And I mean, put it this way, remember when LeBron's Cavs upset Golden State on that Game 7 NBA Finals? You can go on YouTube, the press conference after the game, they asked him what he did to prepare for the game. He goes, I showed the whole team Ali Frazier 3, the Thrilla in Manila. Because I needed them to see two men at their peak, going back and forth, willing to die in that ring for a victory in a world championship. I mean, it's just crossed over so much. There's so many times I hear the name. It's the Ali Frazier of this. It's the Ali Frazier of that. And they stopped the world anytime they fought.
Thank you so much for enjoying this video. And if you found this content valuable, uplifting, and inspiring to take your life and your business to the next level, I have some exciting news for you. Because the Passionate Few Academy officially launched our brand new on-demand training that you can access absolutely free at www.tpfacademy.com. Right there, you'll learn the #1 way to grow your personal brand or business brand online fast. The same way I've learned from interviewing some of the most successful people on the planet right here on the show who've done exactly that. So again, don't forget to check it out, www.tpfacademy.com. I promise you'll be blown away. And also, don't forget, there's 3 ways you can connect with me further. #1, you can text me absolutely free at the number on the screen right now and send me your most pressing life, business, or branding question, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. #2, if you'd like to be interviewed on the show, you can actually apply right now in the description below and apply to share your incredible story, brand, or business right here with an audience of potentially millions of people, the same way we've helped experts, entrepreneurs, and authors just like you. And don't forget, that opportunity comes with the ability to partner with us and help feed 1 million people through our partnership with Feeding America. Again, you can click the link in the description below titled Interview Application to find out more. And last but not least, #3, if you'd like to get consulting from our team and work with you to help you grow your personal brand or business brand, no matter what industry you're in, we can do that by simply filling out the questionnaire in the description below titled Consulting Application. And if our team thinks that you'd be a great fit, who knows, you may just be invited to work with us to help you take your business to the next level. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for enjoying this video. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you never miss an episode. And until next time, live strong, live with passion, and I'll see you in the next inspiring video.